Hey everyone, your friend Crab is here, and as you saw in the title and the thumbnail, today's video is gonna be about every literal item in the MegaMan Classic series. And when I mean items like Rush, Eddie, Item 1, 2, 3, or even items that have some secrets. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. First item on the list is Maggot Bean. With this item you can create static platforms that you can walk or stand on it for a bit. And it's pretty useful too, because you can skip craft sections, you can reach high places, and you can pass through huge gaps. And it would be nice if this item was in every Mega Man game. Next up is Item 1. Item 1 is very useful item. By using it you create a small platform that has a propeller on it that flow up for a bit. It's helpful for skipping a lot of sections and reach higher places. Next is Item 2. Item 2 is less situational compared to the Item 1, but is still useful in some points. By using it you create a jet platform and then you goes away. It's very useful for crossing huge gaps and somehow for reaching higher places. Next is Item 3, and oh man, this item shouldn't be existed. I mean, it's pretty useless compared to the other items. There is one section for it in Mega Man 2 and nowhere else. And by using it you create a small candy-like platform that can climb up walls and nothing else. What a messed up theory. They could at least make a lot of sections for it in Mega Man 2 and I would say it's useful. Next up is Carry, and Carry is very useful. It can save your butt if you messed up with a jump, and it can help you reach higher places. By using it you create a small platform that spawn under you if you are in mid-air, and if you are in land it will spawn towards you. It makes me really sad that this item is only in one Mega Man game and nowhere else. Next up is Rush, and there is a lot of variation for Rush, so I will count every variation of Rush in one row. First is Rush Coil, and by using Rush Coil you summon Rush to jump on him to launch you upward with his coil. There is another version for Rush Coil in Mega Man 5, and that version makes Rush launch himself upward when you land on him, and that makes the player reach higher places. Next up is Rush Jet. By using it you summon Rush to fly across with him. I say Rush Jet is very useful since it's been in a lot of Mega Man games. Next up is Rush Marine. It's basically Rush Jet but only works underwater, and you can move freely with it. Next up is Rush Search. By using it you summon Rush for searching up for weapon or health capsules or even good items or even trash. Yeah, that's kind of jerk move. Now for Mega Man 8 exclusives we have Rush Question. It's basically Rush Search but without trash. But it's still trash because sometimes Rush gets summoned only for just showing you some static vision, and sometimes slacking off. I mean, come on Rush. Next up is Rush Bike, and by using it you summon Rush to transform into a motorbike. You can shoot weak missile projectiles from Rush's mouth and you get extra speed too. I find a lot hate Rush Bike because it's like really bad for them, but I find it very fun to use. Next is Rush Bomber. By using it you summon Rush to drop missiles from above the stage. This actually comes in handy during the stage that has a lot of enemies. Finally is Rush Charger. By using it you summon Rush to drop a lots of health items from above the stage, and that's really helpful especially in boss fights. Next up is Balloon, and it's basically item 1 but slower, and it really behaves like a normal balloon. Next up is Wire Adapter, and by using it you launch a wire to attach to a ceiling. You can use your normal blaster after you reach the end of the wire, and you can damage enemies with it too. It's pretty useful if you ask me. Next is Eddie. Eddie was first introduced in Mega Man 4 and he was just there to give health items for Mega Man in some specific stages. But from Mega Man and Base all the way to Mega Man 11, Eddie was considered as an item you can buy from the shop. And by summoning him, he will gives a load of health items unlike his appearance in Mega Man 4, 5 and 6. Next up is Super Arrow, and I know I mentioned it in the weapon list, but it's considered as a weapon and an item too. Anyway, by using it you launch an arrow that you can stand on and travel across the stage until it sticks to a wall or hit an enemy. It's useful but it runs out so quickly. Next up is Beat, and in Mega Man 5 and 6 Beat can be used to attack every enemy on the screen, and that's an amazing feature for Beat. I find it pretty useful too. Then in Mega Man 7 and 9, 10 and 11, Beat is now an actual item that saves your butt if you messed up with a jump and you fall into a pit, and that's also an amazing feature for Beat. And finally, in Mega Man Base you can summon Beat after purchasing it from the shop to create a shield for Mega Man. That's the perfect feature for Beat because there is no shield weapon in Mega Man Base, and that's really good because the crap amount of enemies in Mega Man Base. Next up is Tango. Tango was first introduced in Mega Man V for the Game Boy, and by using Tango to start to roll towards the screen to attack enemies. I find Tango to be a fun item to use. It's unfortunate that Tango is not in much games. Next up is the bar adapter, and like the super arrow, they were in the weapons list, but I will count them as an item too. Anyway, by using the power adapter you can punch a punching projectile and you can charge up for a devastating punch. It has other uses too, like breaking brick blocks and pushing bush blocks. Next up is the jet adapter, and by using it you can fly high or as you like, but just for limited time. Also, you can use your Mega Buster by using it. I say it's much useful and much better than the rush jet. Next up is the super adapter, and by using it you can charge up for a devastating rocket punch that can home on enemies. And you can boost your jump if you press the jump button and if you are in mid-air. It counts as double jump too. By far the best adapter for Mega Man. Next up is Brodo Shield, and it's just a normal shield that you can use to deflect projectiles and nothing else. Next up is Brodo Coil and Brodo Jet. They are basically Rush Coil and Rush Jet, but exclusive for Brodo Man. And finally we have Treble Boost or Treble Adapter. By using it, Base can fly freely and shoot 3 shots at once in a straight shot. I say it's pretty useful item for Base, especially with the straight shot attack. Ooh, that was a short video. Unlike the weapon list, you can even see the difference. And despite being a short video, I ended up enjoying it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. And anyway, thank you all for watching and see you all in the next one.